Hello and welcome to the Patriot Forecast. The narrative of this war, for too long, has focused on the front lines in Ukraine. But a profound shift is underway, a strategic evolution that is exposing deep and systemic vulnerabilities within Russia itself. We're no longer talking about a border conflict. We are now talking about a war being fought on Russian soil, and not just with drones, but with economic, military, and psychological weapons that threaten to destabilize the Kremlin's control. Forget the official state media reports. The reality on the ground, especially as winter closes in, paints a starkly different picture. We are witnessing the convergence of a looming energy catastrophe and a highly effective, sustained Ukrainian offensive that is shattering the illusion of Russian invulnerability. This isn't just news. This is a strategic warning sign for Moscow. This is the moment the war truly came home, and the consequences could reshape global politics and energy markets. I must say, the sheer scope of these emerging challenges is something I find quite remarkable. Let's delve into the three key areas where Russia is cracking under pressure. Let's begin with the existential threat that is not a missile, but the cold. Russia's energy infrastructure vulnerability. This isn't just about turning up the heat. It's about the lifeblood of the Russian economy. As harsh winter conditions approach, Russia's vast, aging network of oil pipelines and wells faces a critical and perhaps irreparable threat. If this infrastructure freezes, and much of it is already brittle and poorly maintained, it could cause long-term production shutdowns measured not in weeks, but in years. Why is this so critical now? Russia's energy sector has relied heavily on Western technology for complex maintenance, redrilling, and replacement of sophisticated components. Thanks to the comprehensive sanctions regime, Moscow simply cannot fully replicate or replace these advanced tools. They are isolated from the technological lifeline that keeps their wells pumping. The risk is profound. Should these facilities freeze and become permanently damaged, restarting production would require complex, high-tech operations that are now beyond Russia's current domestic capability. This is a geopolitical and technical predicament rolled into one. A major disruption to Russian oil production would instantly spark a global crude shortage, creating yet another ripple effect across international energy markets and hitting consumers worldwide. For the Kremlin, a crippled energy sector means a severely degraded ability to fund its war machine, crippling its military logistics and economic stability at the most basic level. It's a chilling prospect for any major energy producer, and one that is entirely self-inflicted. While the energy threat is slow-moving, the tactical landscape is shifting violently and rapidly. Our second major block centers on the dramatic shift in Ukrainian strategy, from defense to sustained offensive strikes deep inside Russia. Ukraine has moved past merely defending its borders. It is now actively, precisely, and repeatedly targeting critical military and energy infrastructure hundreds of kilometers behind the official front lines. This isn't random shelling. These are coordinated precision strikes using drones, missiles, and dedicated sabotage units aimed at crippling Russia's capacity to wage war. The region that has become the starkest symbol of this new battlefield is Bryansk. The Bryansk region, due to its proximity to the border, is now a microcosm of Russia's growing insecurity. Ukrainian operations are intentionally targeting vital nodes, thermal power plants, electrical substations, pipelines, ammunition depots, and communication towers. They are turning Bryansk into a perpetual frontline, forcing Russia to divert scarce air defense assets and military manpower from the fighting in Ukraine to protect its own internal territory. The discrepancy between the Kremlin's statements and the ground reality is becoming impossible to ignore. Moscow routinely downplays the damage, claiming drones are intercepted or damage is minimal. However, local eyewitness reports, social media footage, and even acknowledgments from regional officials paint a picture of chaos, massive destruction, power outages, and genuine fear. The sheer volume of evidence now coming out of Bryansk, showing the destruction of key facilities and widespread disruption, is systematically undermining the Kremlin's narrative of control and safety. When citizens can't get heat and they see their infrastructure burning, they stop believing the official line. This failure to protect the home front is a severe erosion of public confidence, and in my view, is a bigger long-term problem than any single lost battle. This brings us to our final and perhaps most insidious block: the covert war and psychological erosion. The Ukrainian campaign is a sophisticated blend of conventional strikes and asymmetric tactics. Beyond the precision drone attacks, sabotage and partisan operations are actively undermining Russian border security and operational effectiveness. Covert units are targeting surveillance equipment, communication lines, and command centers along the border. These acts disrupt command and control, significantly reducing Russian forces' situational awareness. By creating confusion and operational paralysis, these asymmetric tactics magnify the impact of the conventional strikes, illustrating a comprehensive approach to weakening Russian defenses that goes well beyond the headline-grabbing explosions. This persistent visibility of Ukrainian attacks inside Russia has a singular strategic goal: shattering the Kremlin's carefully curated image of stability and control. The war has evolved into a full-scale psychological battle. When citizens in a border city see their thermal power plant crippled, or their military depot detonating, they are experiencing the war directly. This disconnect between the promise of an invincible, protected Russia and the harsh, chaotic reality fuels distrust and disillusionment. The objective is clear: to erode the domestic political will to sustain the war. This is about degrading not just military equipment, but morale, public trust, and the authority of the regime itself. By forcing the Russian population to confront the consequences of the war on their own soil, Ukraine is exploiting internal fractures. This is a brilliant strategic move, a force multiplier that will have long-term strategic consequences for Russia's internal cohesion and its ability to continue this conflict. The war is no longer a distant television show for the Russian public. It is an undeniable, immediate danger. What we are observing today is a profound shift in the dynamics of this conflict. Technical vulnerabilities, strategic military attacks, and a sophisticated psychological campaign are all converging to challenge the Kremlin's hold on power and the sustainability of its war effort. Ukraine's resourcefulness, its transition to offensive operations within Russian borders, and its ability to exploit Moscow's infrastructural weaknesses have, in my opinion, given Kyiv a significant strategic advantage. The control over information, energy infrastructure, and civilian perception is proving just as crucial as the military engagements on the front lines. The Patriot forecast is this: Russia's internal vulnerabilities will only deepen as winter bites and Ukrainian strikes continue. This dynamic signals a dramatic and destabilizing trajectory for the war. We will continue to track every detail of this evolving crisis. If you found this analysis insightful, please take a moment to like this video, share it with those who need to understand the true state of the conflict, and most importantly, subscribe to the Patriot Forecast for more in-depth, honest reporting you won't find anywhere else. Thank you for watching.